So good morning, everybody. For those on the West Coast, for those on the East Coast, happy lunchtime. I've got my cup of actually hot water with lemon. I'm being really healthy today. We'll see how long that lasts. And we've got Colleen Doyle with us today from the National Association of Realtors. Thank you so much for joining us today, Colleen. You've got some really cool stuff. As I was telling you, I've been telling people about it for weeks, so I want you to tell us the real story, because I know Litz a little bit, but not nearly as much as you do. So before we jump in, just wanted to remind everybody that, these are chats for a reason, right? We want to hear from all of you. If you've got questions for Colleen or myself, or comments that you want to make, or things you'd like to add to the conversation, feel free to do that. Good morning, Tim. And let's see. Yes, you can please get a copy of this talk. Yes, we're going to send out recordings of this to everyone when we're done. But anyway, just click on the little bar that says questions, open it up, and then we're happy to answer anything that you've got. So I wanted to introduce Colleen first. Whoops. Colleen is the Director of Strategic Initiatives. And Colleen, have you slept much since COVID-19 started? I would guess not.
Not really, no. We've been awfully busy.
I bet.
For sure.
Well, thank you for all of your hard work that you put together to do this, the right tools right now, because it is something that's very needed right now. I mean, the coffee chat concept that we started was kind of like our own little version of right tools right now, is right to pull people that are doing the right thing for agents and brokers to be successful, and to sort of ride this thing out and be prepared for the future. And you guys pulled together some great resources. So thank you so much for being here today.
Of course, thank you.
Yeah, so why don't you just tell us a little bit about, I know Right Tools right now, I think started several years ago. Just tell us the history a little bit of what it's all about.
Of course. So actually, in 2009, we began what at that point was Right Tools Right Now, and it lasted from 2009 and 2010. At that time, we were in a very different situation in that the market, the real estate market specifically, was, and we were going through economic, crises. And really, from the perspective of the NAR, we were looking to see what can we do at that time to provide our members with things to boost their business, help their business, and it became the Right Tools Right Now program. And what we did is we took a look at all of our different offerings, from courses to products to things that we were doing already, and said, hey, how can we put these in front of our members to let them know these resources are here? And then we also not only just put them in front of members and let them know about them, but we took deep discounts on a number of different products, basically everything we had, all of our courses, all of our resources. And that led us through 2009 and 2010. And we did the best we could to support members at that time. And when this, these times came up, we thought, hey, this is another time to kind of reactivate and re-energize and say, again, bring the right tools to our members at the right time. And so it really was a natural fit to bring this program back and say, here's what we can do to support you, and here are the resources you need now to help your business. And what's great about this time versus then is technology has improved so much. And so we can, do things like different coffee chats, bring different resources, and really kind of fit many different webinars and topics to say, hey, you can still, generate business. You can still do this. Let us help and support you.
Gotcha. So, what we try to do on Coffee Chat is give people very specific things that they can try right now, right? Because
of course,
we have a little bit more time to breathe, not much. Some people are, in fact, sometimes I feel like we're busier now working twice as hard to get half as much done. But kind of that's how it feels at this time. But just give us some examples of some of the kinds of things, the things you're seeing that are the most popular within Right Tools,
of course,
that can help people.
So we have a number of different resources. One of the things that we brought is an existing relationship with one of our Realtor Benefits partner that we brought to our members, and that is our telehealth offer. And really what that is that NAR is funding 2 full months of telehealth access for individuals and their families. And after that, there's deeply discounted rates if you choose to continue that. But really what that was about is making sure that our members and their families are safe, that they have access to healthcare, and that they can continue to support their families and do their jobs. And so that was one of the things that we kind of wanted to bring about right front and center. It's an existing partnership that we had, but we really wanted to fund that and make it as accessible and easy for members to take advantage of. So we brought that to the foreground and brought that was one of the resources we could offer. Additionally, we wanted to make sure that, this is a different time for people, and we wanted to make sure that they had the education and resources from webinars and courses. And so one of the things is our Center for Realtor Development, our online learning.realtor, offers a number of different courses. And so we have a deeply discounted rates on every single course that we offer there. But in addition, we have things like our ePro course, which is a certification course that members can now take and access for free. And so they can learn to digitally market, understand how to connect with their sphere online. And that's a course that is hugely popular and also offers a certification for somebody to be an electronic professional. And that's more than ever super useful. We also have a pricing strategies course that's also completely free, that really at this time kind of understanding how to price and properly market a home as a realtor is key. So we have resources like that, but we also have resources from Realtor Property Resource, our PR. And they're offering a number of different webinars to say, how do they utilize our PR in this market? How can we train members to understand the resources that they have available and then go out and do something with them? So everything we have is about bettering your business. So those are a couple of the examples of just small things that members can do right now to educate themselves and better their business.
So we're already getting some questions for you. You're getting people excited. Here's a specific question about telehealth. By the way, if you haven't ever tried telehealth, I know it's a little bit of a foreign topic when you're used to going to see your doctor, but we actually had to use it. Luckily, not for a COVID case, but my mom was sick a couple of weeks ago and we couldn't get her out. I got to tell you that it's almost just like being there. I mean, the only difference is you don't have a known relationship with that particular doctor, but they ask all the same questions. They pretty much do all the same things that you do, but you can do it at 10 o'clock at night, right? Or any time that you need to. So Sherry's asking a question, with the telehealth, does the family member need to be claimed as a dependent or live with you like a college kid, or how broad can it go beyond the member themselves?
So that it does cover family members as well, and I'm not sure exactly the age limits. I would definitely check with the plan and the provider for that, but I believe dependents can be up to 25 years old. But that would be something I would definitely check with before. And I don't know all the intricacies of that particular offer. And I know that it doesn't cover if you already have that through your insurance. You're not able to get that offer if you already have it available to you. But I would definitely check with them to make sure that it is an offer. And it's if you go to the Right Tools page, NAR.realtor Right Tools right now, the telehealth link, and I believe we posted it here, can help answer some of those questions.
Yeah, go in if you have any questions about Peter had asked a question too. Where do we connect with these ideas? Go to the chat. Just click on the little button that says chat. Open it up, and you can grab the links. The first one is the Right Tools Right Now, which is the page of where you find all of these resources, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then the other one is for the Realtor Insurance Marketplace. That's where you find the telehealth offer.
Yeah.
And we also put the link in for online learning.realtor. And the store.realtor, where all of the different training materials are available, correct? But they're all housed under Right Tools Right Now. If you go there, you can find everything, correct?
Yeah, and we've organized it by discounts, webinars, association resources, affiliate offers, and we just wanted to make it as easy as possible. We're also tagging all of the resources that are new there, so you can continually come and find new and different resources. We have around 300 different offerings, for anything that's there, offerings from DocuSign, different things. So it's definitely valuable to keep that kind of bookmarked and go back and check out new things as they come up.
Well, just in case those of you that didn't think that NAR cared about you, Bob Goldberg just answered a question that you asked. He's on our chat right now. And he said for the telehealth, it's actually kids up to age 26 are covered and they do not have to live with you. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for paying attention. Nice to see you. Okay, let's see. We have a couple of other questions for you. This is great. This is exactly what I was hoping to do because you're doing such great work. I want to help people know about it. How often is the ePro updated? In other words, how current is it? Does it have like Yeah, I mean, like right now we need very specific virtual open house tours and things like that. Does it have some of that in there?
It is, yes. And we also have a number of different webinars that are specifically related to virtual showings. There's many of those different options where ePro really is, I don't believe we address specifically the virtual showings in ePro, more about the technology related to being an online real estate professional. But we do have different webinars that are especially focused on that topic and available for that. And ePro, I believe, was updated just recently. So it is the latest and greatest of what you need to do to be an electronic professional.
Well, and on the virtual open houses, we've got a few things we can help the audience with on that too. First, and actually in Right Tools right now, if it's still there, I saw it a couple, maybe about a week ago. There was a great video from, I think, one of the leaders of NAR, volunteer leaders, showing how to actually do a virtual open house. There's like she actually walks around the house. Mm-hmm. Shows you how to do it, because it is kind of a bit of a foreign, we're not used to being broadcasters, right? It's a whole different thing. So that I know there's that. We actually have on Friday this week, Realtor.com is coming on, and they're going to talk about how they're now offering a way to promote virtual open houses on Realtor.com, which is really neat.
Okay.
Sorry, just kidding. And there's many MLSs now that are I know CoreLogic is doing this, and I believe some of the other MLS system providers are also doing this, where you can now set up a virtual open house instead of a regular open house, which of course most people can't do right now. I don't think anybody can do right now. Yeah. There's an option for virtual open house. So you can now promote virtual open houses through your MLS to other members in your area. And then again, now they're getting syndicated. I think Zillow might take it as well, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot going on with that particular thing. But tune in on Friday and you can learn more about what's going on. We also did on last Friday and about a week before that, we talked to FMLS in Georgia and as well as Beaches MLS down in Florida. Both of them are doing some really neat things with virtual open houses. So we'll send those links so that if you want to learn more about that particular thing, we've got a lot of ways to help you with that. We're getting lots of comments here. Bob says, sure, you're all doing a great job. So good job, Colleen. Thanks, Bob. Love to hear it. Okay, so tell us some of the other, well, first of all, let's take a step back for a minute. I know that you're, very connected to what's going on with the membership across the country. I'm sure NAR I know it's doing everything it can, and this is a good example, but what are you hearing across the country now? How are people feeling? Are they sort of hitting a new norm? Are people still freaked out, or kind of what are you hearing? What's happening out there?
I think a little bit of everything. I think that, people who are, uncomfortable working digitally, that's, there's a little bit of fear there. And so that's why so many of our resources have been to how can we get that comfort level with digital, showings, with digital marketing, talking to their sphere online versus in person. How do we get that up? And so I think there's a little bit of fear there, but there's also some agents we've been hearing are more busy than they ever have been, and that they're really kind of, embracing this time to connect with people, to show and use their properties and use that technology in a different way. And so, people are still busy. Home sales are going. Lawrence Yoon is doing a number of different discussions and talks to let us know exactly what's going on and kind of keep the economic pulse of what's happening out there. And so we have some of those links on the Right Tools page to our research group that can tell you exactly what's happening, what is going on right now. But I think that it's really a mix of everything. That, there is business to be had, and there is an opportunity to go out there and seek it, but also to use this time as an opportunity to educate yourself and reset and get ready for what's to come, because it's going to be a new normal, moving forward.
For sure. And actually, to underline your point about the data, Teradata was on our show about 4 days ago, and they had some really encouraging news. Of course, they said they measure 1,800 markets. I'm sure Lawrence probably measures even more than that. But what they said was last week to a year ago last week, listings count was down about 50%. Which is not great, obviously, right? But but to me, a little encouraging. I think some consumers might think it's down 90%, right? That we're out of business. And the truth is, we're not out of business.
No.
And I've heard from several different markets, even in the last couple of days, that week to week, so last week to this week, that listing count is up 15-20%. So it's like, it feels like we're starting to kind of come out of it. I mean, certainly not to the degree we would if we were in our normal peak market, but it's slowly encouraging. TZ asked a question, and this is an interesting one. He said, virtual open houses is for existing listings. Do we have any results of sales through visual open houses or virtual open houses? You know, I think that it's so soon that I don't think we do yet.
I haven't heard, no. I have not, no. But we can look into that for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a really interesting one for Lawrence. And I don't know how you, maybe even Realtor.com might be able to help with that, because if they're going to be displaying them, maybe you could cross-check. I don't know. But what we have heard anecdotally, TZ, is that virtual open houses were used a lot for people, and we've been talking to a fair number of like top producing teams down in Florida. They were used if, you know, for the snowbird business, right? If I'm in Ohio and I want to buy a house in Fort Lauderdale, I may, but the good news is they are now starting to be successful locally, right? So I'm in the same town. I just want to upgrade my house or whatever. People are getting more comfortable, which at some level, I think at first we're like, oh my God, that's awful. But if you think about it for the future, so let's say that, and I'm making these numbers up, but just for argument's sake, right? Normally I'd have to drive someone around and look at 20 houses. That's probably high, but let's say 10, right? So what if we could use virtual open houses for them to look at all 10 and then say, you know what, I really only like these two. Once I really got inside the house and really looked at it in detail. So this potentially creates efficiency for all of us, right? It allows the agent to spend time in the houses that really matter and get rid of the ones that really just don't fit the criteria for whatever reason. So, you know, this whole idea of like the next normal, right? Some of these things we're doing now by, as they say, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Some of them we might get used to them, and consumers might get used to them and say, wow, like this is a terrific way to do it. And, you know, as someone that, you know, would have a home, like would I rather have my agent in the house and everyone else outside my house? Kind of, right? Do I love the idea of people wandering through? Like, I don't know, how much are we going to always be afraid now of having people in our houses? You know what I mean? Let me get rid of that. Sorry.
That's all right.
Jeez. What is going on here? Sorry. Can you guys hear that? Yes, you can, right? There we go. Okay, done. So, you know, there may be some, because maybe we're all going to be really sensitive about this for a long time or forever. I don't know. I mean, if you've been into a store lately and you see people kind of walk around you, right? Even if you have a mask on.
Or even down the block,
Right? So I don't know how long it's going to take us to be comfortable, but I think you're right. If we embrace this stuff now, and I'm so glad that NAR is helping, it's really helpful.
We just recently, Realtor.com just recently did a webinar that was specifically for NAR members in the Right Tools Right Now program. That's really, how do we get ready for the resurgence? How do we get ready for the comeback? Because we want to be ready and educate ourselves for what's happening now, but then what happens after that? And so some of these tools are focused on that as well. What becomes the new normal after this? And how many more electronic meetings are we having than, you know, the face-to-face traditional meetings? And we're finding just as organizations and, you know, business people too, that some of these things can be done electronically. We can be more efficient. We can be more productive with our business than we might have been in the past. And I think that's going to be one of the hopeful things that come out of it, is just a new efficiency in how transactions and businesses can take part. We're seeing a lot of the notarization coming online as well. And so that'll be a change for what comes to, you know, the real estate industry moving forward. And we'll see how, you know, what else comes out of this.
Yeah, that's a good question. That'd be a great update. You may have this in Right Tools right now. I've heard that I've heard New York and Florida have both authorized e-notarization. Have you heard other states now? Is that starting to roll across the country?
It is starting to roll, but we don't have a full thing of that. But that's something that we can also kind of look to kind of point out for our members and see where that's happening.
Yeah, and there's other.
Take a note on that.
Yeah, there's great programs on electronic, on earnest money collection too. Earnest, the company Earnest, and trust funds and others. So you can collect that instead of driving around with a check, right? You can actually do a lot of that safely online now too, which is great. So that's a whole other element. Sherry Bellhorn has a question. She said, NAR opinion on the releasing the floodgates of showings and open houses in May 2020 in Michigan, and I guess maybe in general. So where is NAR coming out on, is NAR lobbying for realtors to practice safe distancing, masks with home showings, et cetera, in Michigan, and I assume beyond that? So is there kind of a point of view on that yet? How do we do this once we can go back in homes?
You know, I think we look to kind of our government officials and you know, the general practice and really wait to see what scientists are weighing in. But, you know, our goal is to always keep our members as safe as possible. And so I think that, you know, practicing social distancing, even when things are back to normal, I think that we'd be supportive of anything that keeps our members safe. And, you know, we just want to make sure that we're doing best to enable their business, enable them to get their job done. And if that means, you know, staying 6 feet apart on a listing and a showing, then let's do that.
Hey, Bob Goldberg's back. Love that he's here with us. He said that actually nearly 20 states have allowed remote online notary, which is awesome. So that would be great, Bob, if we can get a list of that. I'll be happy to promote that here too. That's terrific. That's really good news, and hopefully it'll continue. Again, necessity some other of invention, right? Sometimes these legislative bodies can take forever to approve these things, but now they recognize if that's the one thing holding up, you know, 1.3 million people from collecting unemployment, that maybe they're going to help us with that, which is awesome. Good.
Yeah.
TC has another comment. After we lift the lockdown, eventually we'll need to show physical property. Do we need to have any guidelines? So same question. It sounds like, I don't know. That's a tough one because it's like each state's kind of doing their own thing. So I'm not sure how NAR can step in on that. But I mean, I think the kinds of things that you were describing, they're just logical. I mean, when you think about it, you know, now that we're all such germaphobes, right? We never were before.
Yes.
The thought of, you know, 50, 100 people walking through your house and like touching everything, you kind of think it's kind of gross when you think about it now, right? We never really worried about it before, but that's awesome. What other things would you suggest that you know that NAR is doing right now to keep people in tune? I know you have a COVID-19 site, I think, as well, right?
We do.
Are there other resources of things that that NAR is offering that can help our audience just stay in tune with what's happening?
Yeah, we have a site and we have a hotline that is available for members to call with any questions they have, and we're doing our best to provide all of those resources in one place and just make sure that, you know, it's not just about education and discounts, that we are here to answer just the general questions like that. And so I can provide that hotline number as well.
Oh, that'd be great. If you want to type that in, that'd be awesome. While you're doing that, we did have RPR on our show. I think it was Monday, and Reggie Nikolai came from there, who's awesome. And one of the things that he talked about, which is great to remember too, and I'm sure there's other tools within Right Tools that do this too, but one of the things that we learned, because we just did our own COVID survey, was that the most active step people are taking is to call their clients, which is, of course, the right thing to do, just to call and say, how are they doing? But the logical next question can be, not always, but can be, so what's happening with the market, right? How is, you know, we all wake up at 3 in the morning worried about something. And one of those things can be, is my house going to be as valuable? You know, the hotline just went in. It's 1-800-874-6500, and that's got all kinds of great tips and tricks about how to handle the market right now. Anyway, what we talked about on RPR was that's a really quick and a professional way to answer that question. So if someone says, you know, is the value of my home going down? Is there something, you know, do you think I think people sort of make the leap that it's 2008 again. The last time we had this kind of an economic downturn, we were in the middle of it. And so they may assume that we're going to be in the middle of it again. That's not what any of the data is suggesting. But using RPR, which again is in there's great training, all kinds of cool stuff. You can literally type in the subject name, the subject property address, push go, and this beautiful report pops out, right? You can put your logo on it. It literally takes 30 seconds to build them. It's awesome. And you can even do different types of things. There's commercial ones, there's things that appraisers can use. There's all kinds of neat stuff within RPR. So if you haven't yet taken advantage of that, that's great. Oh, Cheryl's saying you cannot see. Cheryl, if you go to where it says chat, just click that little gray triangle and it'll open it up for you, and then you should be able to see it. And can you give that phone number again? Yes, I can. It's 1-800-874-6500. And that's got all kinds of things. The other thing that I would
follow the prompts there.
And what are the different kinds of information that's available there, Colleen?
So it's all of the different COVID updates, what's going on, what's nationally happening. You know, it'll talk to the different states and things like that you know have the different rules. And we're just trying to centralize all of that information in one place for you.
Gotcha. Okay. And I would say too, call on your state organizations for hotlines too. I know I'm in California. I know the California Association is doing a great job of keeping people in tune on a lot of different things, tracking different counties and what they're talking about and things like that. So, and of course your local association and your local MLS can help you in this time too. One of the other pitches I put in every day on these. So for you that have been here, I apologize, but you know, every MLS pretty much in the country offers multiple ways to do business, to help you do business. And unfortunately, most of us are so busy that we rarely really check them all out. Many of them have dashboards and they have little logos on them. And I've just literally just go to that dashboard, open it up, and just push one of those buttons, just one. I don't care which one, just push it, because there's a ton of great technology available to you as part of your normal membership. That you can take advantage of, and this is a great time. There's training involved. Many of them have moved to online training as well, and online live training. Some of them even provide you with CE courses and CE credit online, so you can get that out of the way right now while you have a little break in the action, because you know many of us wait till the end of the year. It's like, now we got 5 classes to take in a very short amount of time. Okay, Susan Kennedy asked, the problem with values is that the lenders have tightened up the lending, therefore will bring down how much a consumer can purchase. Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about that. Do you want to talk at all about what we're seeing on the mortgage side, Colleen?
We haven't addressed that a ton, but I know our advocacy group is really making sure that we are advocating that that realtors and that the members and their clients can really continue to purchase properties. And we're trying to advocate and talk to Congress to make sure that we're not closing the markets too much, to make sure that that it still is an open market, that we can still purchase, that it doesn't have to be the 20% down in this credit score. So we are advocating and working really hard to make sure that we are being the best stewards and resources for consumers as well as realtors, to allow them to continue to do business there.
That's great. And I believe that I'm 99% sure, and Bob can probably jump in on this one too, but I believe that you guys were very much a part of the lobby to make sure that realtors were considered essential, right? NAR and the states
very much so
on that. I know in California for 1 week we were considered non-essential, and boy, that's not a fun place to be. So
no.
They were very happy when it came out as a federal realtors are considered essential. So I'm assuming there's a lot of advocacy going on that too, because we don't want to get ourselves right back to the same place we were when, for a completely different reason, now people can't get homes again.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. So I'm hoping that and I heard yesterday you had to have like an 800 credit score to be able to get a loan, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening right now. So will you be having information about some of that stuff as well in Right Tools, or will that be somewhere else?
We will, yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's a biggie. And do the Right Tools or does NAR have any resources for talking about the PPP and all these new buzzwords that we now have to learn, the SBA loans and any of all that crazy stuff? Is there a place for you to help them with that stuff too?
We don't have a place for that yet, but we can absolutely add it, and we're adding new resources all the time. So that can definitely be one of those things that gets added for sure.
Okay, good. Yeah, I know. Again, I think a lot of the states are handling that, and the local associations, because your unemployment benefits are many times happening at the county level or at the state level. So it's good to check those out as well. Okay, is there anything? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying our advocacy group has been trying to do webinars as well to explain and help members really get a lot of the benefits that Congress and everybody is putting out there. And so as you go to the Right Tools page, you can click on our advocacy links and talk about those different things that we are trying to help with for sure.
Now, Sherry has another good question about this, and it sounds like we might want to do another coffee chat, Sherry, just on the things you're talking about because it's important. She said, opinion of home prices will adjust to COVID-19 post versus prior COVID-19, and appraisal values, and will appraisal values be effective? What tools can we use as realtors to address these concerns with our clients? So, in other words, like, are all bets off now that we've gone through this, and do traditional tools still work, or can they work as we move forward? That's a really good question, Sherry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, our traditional tools are still going to be the best resources we have right now. We don't know how long this will go on and how long we'll be through it. And so I think that that's what we have to rely on right now. And, you know, look at the different economic indicators that are coming out, and are we still seeing the same rates of home close, and are we still able to get there? But yeah, right now what we have is our traditional tools, and we'll just have to continue to use those as, you know, we get through this to see where we are at the end of it.
Well, and, you know, Sherry, as you know, every market is different. I've heard from several markets that, you know, still had a pretty tight inventory situation, that there was a squeeze on pricing before we went into this because we just didn't have enough homes to sell. And some markets, days on market, have leveled out a little bit, but they're still, I was on a call the other day and there were multi-bid offers happening on a home that was being sold through a virtual open house, right? So the good news is we are not part of the problem, right? The fundamentals of the housing industry are still very strong, have been strong. And well, let's not forget those mortgage rates. They're crazy low, right? So there's a lot of, we're in a different place now than we were when we went through the housing crisis. This is not a housing crisis. This is a virus crisis. It's completely different. But I do think it'll be helpful, and Lawrence could be really helpful on this, I think, too. Help people understand that in plain English, like what does it really mean? And even at the market level, you know, days on market were so low. I know there's a lot of conversation about how do we deal with this days on market thing, and every market's dealing with that a little bit differently. That's a whole other conversation. I think most MLSs that I've seen, at least, have not adjusted the way they calculate days on market. So if you were really concerned, people might put a hold on a house or withdraw for a little while if they felt like they just couldn't sell it right now. But that's an interesting question of how, you know, these are all things that frankly none of us know, right? None of us know how this is going to play out. But I do feel good personally that because we do have such strong fundamentals in our economy and in the housing market prior to this, that I think we're going to be okay. But, you know, don't quote me. Call Lawrence. He knows what he's talking about.
I was going to say same here.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Colleen. This was awesome. Thank you for your advice. I'm gonna put those back on the screen for a minute. Let's just remind everybody. So, Right Tools Right Now is the name of the program. So go to nar.realtor/right-tools-right-now, and that's where you'll get the host of all of this information. Remember that there's information about telehealth there, information about online learning there. Instructional videos on how to do virtual open houses, and a whole bunch more. There's great stuff on RPR in there. Are some of the reach companies in there too? I was going to ask you about that.
They are, yes. So we're really looking from all across our entire organization and our partners and different companies. And yeah, some of our reach companies were able to step up and offer additional savings, discounts, and things like that. And so they now have, they're on there as well.
Awesome. So there's all kinds of deals to be found there, which is great.
For sure.
And by the way, if you do have a little extra cash, this is the time to buy things, right? Because you're going to get them at much better prices than you normally would. And again, that hotline number is 1-800-874-6500, and follow the prompts and you'll get all kinds of great information from NAR in a variety of different topics. Sherry says, thank you, NAR, for lobbying for us. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. And for all of you that are on it, we have recorded this, so we'll be sending a note out to all of you if you want to look at it again. You can also go, and I'm going to go back on the screen real quick just to show you what we've got coming for the rest of the week. Tomorrow we have Greer Allen, who is from Boomtown ROI, a really neat digital marketing platform that a lot of successful agents use. He's going to talk to us a lot about just how are we going to ride this out, and how does digital fit into that program. And then on Friday we have Andrew Dorn from Realtor.com is going to talk to us about their whole new virtual open house program and the partnership that they've created with Richard McDonald from Matterport. So that'll be really fun. And if you want to register for, go to RE Technology Inc. INC on YouTube. You can go to our playlist and you'll see all of the pre-recorded videos here. And so you'll be able to, if you're tired of binge watching on Netflix, go ahead and binge watch some Coffee Chats. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I really appreciate your being here today. Again, Colleen and Bob. Bob, you were awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and helping us answer questions. And thank you to NAR for really being there in all of our times of need. You know, this is when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and realtors are tough, and so is the National Association of Realtors. For sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah,
okay,
thank you.
See everybody tomorrow, same time, same channel, 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks.